When you're envied, how to avoid becoming a vengeful soul. Introduction. The greatest enemy of peace is not the noise of the world, but the quiet storm within us when we are envied. Have you ever felt a cold stare, heard a casual but cutting remark, or sensed that someone is waiting for you to stumble, just so they can feel a little taller? Envy is a poison that seeps in silently. It doesn't need words to wound. But worse than the envy itself is our own reckless reaction to it. That's what ignites the fire that burns the soul from within. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "Others may act wrongly, but I am not obliged to react wrongly." When facing envy, the temptation to strike back is always present. But that's when you must remember, a noble soul never lowers itself to become a distorted reflection of those who hurt it. If you are currently being envied, stay with this video, because in the next 20 minutes, I, speaking as a Stoic philosopher, will walk with you into the fire of envy, not to extinguish it with hatred, but to light the way with self-control, wisdom, and compassion that refuses to surrender. Part 1. Recognizing the silent signs of envy. Envy isn't always loud. The Stoic doesn't listen to noise. They observe the subtle shifts of psychology. Pay attention. There's someone who always downplays your success. They say things like, "That's not a big deal. Anyone could have done that." They avoid congratulating you. They smile, but their eyes don't. They show up when you fail, but disappear when you win. These people won't say, "I envy you." They disguise it with jokes, intentional silence, or compliments laced with sarcasm. Seneca, the Stoic sage, once said, "The envious do not hate you. They hate themselves for not being you." Envy then arises from pain, not from power. So never respond with hatred. If you do, you've let them govern your inner life. A Stoic understands there is no greater revenge than maintaining your own peace. If you felt those stares, those words, leave a comment below this video. Stoic Bloom is where we learn to stand firm amidst life's storms. Don't forget to subscribe to continue your journey through Stoic philosophy. Part 2. Why we must not become the vengeful type. In everyone who's ever been envied, there's a wound, sometimes so small that no one sees it, yet deep enough to make us want to prove something. And then we fall into the trap, proving ourselves by making the other suffer as we once did. That is vengeance, and it is the betrayal of the Stoic spirit. Epictetus once taught, "Those who hurt you cannot control you unless you allow them to." If you let anger take the wheel, you lose self-mastery. You hand the steering wheel to emotion, something Stoicism teaches us to keep firmly in our own hands. You don't need to scream to be strong. You don't need to hurt others to feel worthy. True strength is shown in calmness, dignity, and unwavering presence in the face of provocation. The vengeful person is ruled by the past. The Stoic is anchored in the present. And only those who rule themselves can build a life worth living. Part 3. Transforming envy into inner growth. The Stoic does not treat envy as something to suppress or deny, but as a clear signal of desires and internal confusion. As Epictetus said, "We are not disturbed by events, but by our perception of them." When others envy you, it does not have to hurt. The pain only arises when you react impulsively, when you let emotion take the lead. Inner growth begins with facing your own feelings of jealousy. Why do I get angry when someone is recognized? Why does another success unsettle me? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Look within. There is a wellspring of strength, a beacon of light, a teacher that never goes out." No matter who tries to stir envy within you, you still hold the power to decide what kind of person you will become. To escape the spiral of envy, you don't need to counterattack. You simply need to become a better version of yourself, quietly, steadily. The one who envies you, ironically, is waking you up to grow beyond them. Remember, you don't have to prove your worth to those who envy you. Your only task is to keep that light within you burning. That is the highest form of resistance for a Stoic soul, to resurrect from judgment, respond with silence, and rise above through serenity. Conclusion: the highest consciousness is never driven by ego. Envy is a test of the mind, but revenge is the doorway to moral decay. The Stoic understands we cannot choose how others treat us, but we always choose how we respond. Be the kind of person whose silence unnerves the wicked. Be the one who masters goodness without being seduced by petty calculation. Use envy as a mirror to understand yourself, not as a weapon to attack others. May you live rooted in your own inner strength, not to be perfect in the eyes of others, but to become the person who no longer needs to prove anything. If this video awakens something in you, like the right words at the right time can change a life, then subscribe to Stoic Bloom. Like, share, and leave a comment below. Your words might be the light that helps someone else step out of envy and into peace. Stoic Bloom, where silence becomes the most profound answer.